Oh yes, everybody. Season 7 of Battle Brothers. Finally, I've been waiting all week. I can't wait. Let's get into it. So I'm assuming if you are here, you would have watched my announce video, so you would know what the point is, or what we're trying to achieve in this campaign. But in case you're not, I'll just explain. So we are going to do a cultist run. Davkul's Chosen is the name of our group. Thank you for one of my YouTube subs. I forget who it was. I'll give you a shout out in a sec when I forget who it was. And I mean, this is the perfect banner, I think. Let's take a look at the ones we got. That could be a good one, but I like that skull and bony one. So yeah, it's a cultist run, so we are going to try our damnedest to get the Davkul's armor, which means we're going to have to end up sacrificing some of our own people, but hell, who cares if we can get that? Ooh, that's a good one. So I think it's between this one, Cult of Davkul, Davkul's Chosen. I think we go for I like this. Yeah. Davkul presiding above us all. That game crisis, we said we were going to go for Undead Scourge. Permanent destruction, no. We'll leave the map seed as it is. Economic we'll leave on veteran and combat on veteran. I've done a bit of experimentation on expert and expert, and it's doable. It's absolutely doable. But it's just a grind, which eventually becomes a bit of a bummer, if I'm honestly. And tactically, we are placing some restrictions on ourselves that are going to make things even more difficult, so difficulty is not going to be an issue. So, if you looked at season 6, sorry, the previous season, we didn't have any tactical restrictions on ourselves. We allowed ourselves to do whatever we wanted to do, to fight as well as we could fight. This playthrough, though, Wonder John, thanks my man, welcome, glad you could make it. What was I saying? We can do things a little bit differently, because last season was do the best we can, do whatever we can to win. This season things might get a little bit nutty. So, on the world map we're going to be hiring any cultist whenever we can find one, with the end game idea being that we have nothing but cultists. Of course, that's not very likely to happen. Nice, good shot. But if we can, we'll get straight cultists. We're going to be a bunch of religious lunatics. So, and in terms of tactics, we were discussing whether we would do the usual 7 up front, 5 at the back, or to do a straight 6 and 6 Roman shield wall style, where you have no archers and all the soldiers are identical. And then the backline guys can swap out and, swap out with the frontline guys when they get into trouble. But I've done something similar, I think it was in season 4 with the Vikings. Oh, and we got Iron Lungs, the single best perk you can get on someone is Iron Lungs. That is huge. I've totally lost my train of thought. I'm so psyched we got Iron Lungs on one of our frontline guys. Tiny's quite nice as well. So yes, we're not going to do the 6 and 6. We're going to do 7 up front, 5 at the back. Now, last season we did 4 archers and a sergeant on the back lines, and then a mix of shield bearers and what I call raiders, the guys who use gigantic two-handed weapons on the front line. It's going to be almost the same this campaign, but this campaign we're going to be focusing more on melee fighting and much less on ranged weapons. So eventually, what I want is we'll have a sergeant there at the back, then we'll have 2 crossbowmen, no bowmen, and then 2 huskarls, who are the two-handed axe users, who will have rotation to swap out the guys in front of them. And then up front, that's I think you guys are going to like. So it's going to be, we've got 7 guys up front. It'll be 4 raiders and 3 shield bearers. The shield bearers are going to be mace experts in this position here and here. The guy here in the center position of the line is going to be a dagger expert, which is going to be this guy, because he's got Iron Lungs, which he's going to need, because when you stab 3 times with your dagger, it uses 45 fatigue, so you're going to need that. And then, so it'll be 4 raiders, 2 long swords in the front, and then on the flanks it'll be either warhammers or axes. I haven't quite decided. The safer play is to make it warhammers, because they're a bit more reliable. Oh hell yeah, and a brawler right off the bat. Of course we're going to just keep playing normally from the start. And then whenever we find cultists, we'll hire them. This is tempting. I like militiamen, they have decent stats, and he comes with a level up. But that's damn near half our money, and he might be crap. Let's take a look at our first recruit. Adelmar. He's totally ripped, but his stats aren't great. He's got nice fatigue, so he'll be an excellent shield bearer. We'll make him a mace master. It sucks that his accuracy is fairly low, but in the perks you'll see we're going to be doing things a little bit differently as well. So this guy is our dagger master. And look at these stats. What are we going to do here? This could be a decent sergeant, but I think we'll make him the other mace master. Just because he's already got a decent, you know, starting melee skill. And 1 star in resolve and 1 star in fatigue is okay for a sergeant, but as we saw in the previous campaign, for a sergeant you have to have at least 1 star in range defense, because he's going to be getting shot at an awful lot. And he can't use a shield. We'll buy all that. That'll be good profit. Let's see, we are going to need a pitchfork most likely. And we need cheap tools. I never turn down tools if they're less than 200. Flail is nice, but daggers are what you want to start with. And spears. Because obviously everybody's accuracy is just arse to start with. So even though he's a mace master, to start with he'll just use a spear. Now something else that I learned from my previous campaign, which I'm looking forward to carrying it over into this one, is I'm going to go back to using quick hands on all of the frontliners, particularly on the raiders. So if you imagine this guy's a raider with his big 2-handed weapon, he'll start with quick hands, so that when battle starts he'll have a shield. Then once the battle lines join, whips out his 2-handed weapon and goes to work without losing any action points. Therefore you get the benefit of the shield without any of the drawbacks in terms of the lower damage numbers, and you get the benefit of the 2-handed weapon. It's going to be interesting. Yep, just welcome. I've been streaming for 7 minutes. Well, hang on, first things first, let me go to my YouTube here 4 days ago. Thank you all of you who commented and gave your names. Let's see, first of all, Malice Wonderland. I definitely want in the season submit Malice Wonderland or Christoph Malice as a cultist. Any class will do. Current favorite channel on YouTube. Oh, Malice, thank you so much. Malice, you're going to be a mace master. Malice Wonderland. Okay, I'm not going to have to take that space out. Wonderland. Welcome. Next, Griff. Wait, hang on. Griff, you didn't ask specifically for being a dagger master. Here you go. I love this name. I wonder if it's an Irish one. So, Mac Dutton writes, Stobbie, please name one of the cultists Padden Fane. But I suspect this is like Irish pronunciation, so it's Padden Fane. I hope so. That just sounds so cool, if that's the way you say it. Next, Griff. Griff, you can be a mace master. Griff, 92-100. The mace master. And now we're going to have 2 crossbowmen. So yes, I know crossbowmen are nowhere near as good as archers, and part of why I'm Jungian the crossbowman, welcome Jungian, is I want to kind of show what I was talking about in the last season, where the crossbowmen have an earlier power spike than the bows do. But then in the ultra late game, I mean, once you're using, or let's say once you have a choice between a warbow and a, what's the tier 3 crossbow called? An arbalest? You'll see the arbalest does just as much damage as a warbow does, but of course the warbow shoots twice. The advantage of the warbow, of the crossbow, excuse me. Ooh, killer on the run, welcome. You'll do nicely. And Henrik the farmer. So the advantage of the crossbow is that it has higher armor pierce, and more of its damage pierces armor. And then when you take crossbow specialist, damn near 70% of the damage that you hit with goes straight through armor. So it's going to be very good against armored targets. The problem we're going to have in this run is it's against undead, so they're not going to do very much against the majority of the undead guys we fight against. Damn, these are not the stats I wanted. Damn. Well, Olaf, we'll just make you a raider, a B team raider. As you guys might remember from previous, that's awesome. He's strong, he's got melee skill, but he doesn't have melee defense. So ultimately, he's going to be a B team raider, and he's unlikely to survive very long. What was I saying? I was saying words. Words were coming out of my big stupid face. I forget what I was saying. No matter. Okay. Let's do this rather. Which of you two has the lowest melee skill? That would be you, Henrik. And then we'll just try to get Olaf a pike as well. So in terms of the starting lineup, this is it's okay. 6 guys is normally what I do. Have we got daggers all the way up front? There you go. Pardon. We need to get you a proper shield, my man. And for you, Griff. I was talking about crossbows. And advantages are that they do more damage, more armor pierces. The downsides is even with Berserk, you most of the time are only going to be shooting once a turn. Even if Berserk procs, the only way you can shoot twice with a crossbow is if you haven't moved and get a kill with your first shot. So you shoot, get a kill. Berserk procs, that then gives you enough AP to reload and shoot again. If you have to move and shoot, you can't. You can reload again, but then you can't shoot again that turn. Or if you have to start your turn by reloading, you can reload, shoot, Berserk procs. You can reload again, but then you can't shoot again. Although I suspect it might be a bit of a moot point in this campaign, because for the majority of the undead warriors, when things start to get hairy for us and start getting tough, we are going to go with no archers. Because of course crossbows do deck against the undead, the skeletal ones at least. I think I want at least a thick tunic for the front line. God, we haven't gotten what I would have wanted out of our first 6, but... And I need 2 shields as well. Well, buckler better than nothing. God, that's rough. Okay, let's get started. Oh yes, one other thing that occurs to me, which could be quite a fun bit of a bonus, on the fact that we are going to be having at least 4 guys with quick hands, is it means we can be very tactically flexible. So we can use spear walls more often against certain enemy types. And we can actually hang on to 4 extra sets of crossbows. So that if we're fighting, let's say, orcs, for example, or really any enemy that doesn't have any ranged method of doing damage, the guys up front who have quick hands can just start with crossbows and get 1 or 2 shots off before they get crashed into on the front lines, and they can still whip away the crossbow and then go to work on their melee with their melee weapon. Let's not start by fighting Orc, Young and Berserkers on day 2. That's a bit scary. What up, Robbie Zasso? Guys, if you want to get yourself into the band of the fighters this campaign, you'll need to go to my YouTube channel and go to the Season 7 announce, and then just leave it in the comments, because I've got a whole list of guys who want to get in already, and if I start giving you guys the ability to get in now just by watching, it's a bit unfair to the guys who already said that they want to join. Oh, that's not the best start. So very often we're going to find ourselves getting outshot by the enemies. Just 7Co, thank you for following. Welcome to Camelot. Tis a silly place. And in general, our tactics are going to have to change, because we have to run forward quite a lot more. We're not going to have the ranged advantage a lot of the time. So my main issue is that archer. Let's see if we can't get a shot on him. A fine shot. Jungian, we need to rename him. And it was Jungian, that's one of the YouTube viewers. Let's see, so Griff's going to go to that position, or that position rather. Henrik goes here. Oof, Malice, that's one of the worst. The minus melee skill up front. Oh, that sucks. That's purely because I don't want this guy to take one step forward and destroy someone's shield. This just gives him something to think about, and they'll most likely move in front of this archer, but we should still be able to get a shot off on him. Oh, sweet, we got to go first. 54%. Go on, Jungian. Blood for Davkul. I'm actually going to wait, because if one of these nerds comes into the battle line, I want to get a stab off on him. They're waiting, quite cleverly. Damn it. Okay, that's not surprising, but that's not the end of the world either. God, these hammers are terrifying. Beautiful Prophet, thanks for the follow. Oh, you bold parakeet. Oh, yeah. Welcome, bold parakeet. Oh, we needed that to hit. This dude's my priority now, because if he hits a couple of headshots here, good stabbing, Griff. Righto, Malice. Let's get to work, boys. Stab him in his big stupid face. We don't have any unobstructed shots here, and again, this is the problem with the crossbows. You can reload and then shoot, but you can't do much else. I'm gonna wait and just hope that this thug goes into that position, because then I can get an unobstructed shot at him. Woo! We needed that. This is gonna hurt. One thing I need to do is to get myself mentally just back into remembering that I'm not as strong as I was at the end of season 6. Very often when I restart, it's a persistent problem. You kind of forget how weak you are. God damn, pardon Finn. Good free stabs. Oh, loving spear wall. Oh, Jungian is a beast. Offering up many souls for Davkul. Okay, if we can dagger Hoggart down, that'll be great. Jungian is a fucking beast. That was an obstructed shot with a shield. That had to have been like, what did he roll? Jungian uses short bolt, hits Brigand Thug. It was a 49% chance. Okay, so Jungian's got like 4 kills so far. He's just wrecking everyone. Okay, boys, give him the old surround. Surround and stab. So this reminds me, one of the things we need to do as quickly as we can is keep our eyes out for a roundel, which is the tier 3 dagger. Because if we can get ourselves a dagger master and get him a roundel within the first few days, and I've had this before in an offline campaign, it's so powerful. You can literally 1 or 2 shot some of the enemies. We don't do any damage to Hoggart. Ouchie. Yeah, he's breaking. As soon as he takes a stab, or even gets surrounded, he's going to flee completely and then be harmless. So let's see. Yeah, Henrik, get in there. Don't damage him yet. I want that armor untouched. Come on, boys. I'll give him one little shot. Shit. Okay, he's riposting. 35% chance, not worth it. Rest a bit. Rest. Rest. Okay, just wait, let him go. He should be able to take probably 1 swing. You can take a shot. Oh, I should have moved. Damn. He's still riposting, so we gotta wait. He might get 2 swings off. Oh! Griff survives though. I hate for him to take so much damage, but these are the risks you gotta take early on. There you go. Yeah, that really sucks for Griff. He's hurt. He's hurt bad. He bleeds for Davkul. Come on, boys. Ah, there it is. Nice. Little patched mail. Obviously patched mail in the greater scheme of things is crap, but this early on, it's very good. So one other thing tactically we're going to be doing is in how we level up. You guys probably know how I feel about student and how I rate student. But we're going to take a bit of a different approach this campaign. I mean, you guys know me, I like to try different things. I think I'm going to start going back to either Colossus or Fast Adaption. So someone like Padden, who's got 2 stars in melee, isn't going to need Fast Adaption. He's a Dagger Master, so he could well benefit from Recover, and he doesn't have a huge fatigue pool, but I'm going to give him Colossus, which is going to mean that he's not going to have to sink too many level ups into getting the magic. Here we go, 76, good. So when he levels up rather, every time he levels, we can put his points into melee skill, melee defense, and fatigue. And he's got the requisite minimum 45 resolve as well. So really, it's one perk, but I'm thinking of it as a number of stat points as he levels up that I don't have to keep throwing into him. Fast is Blair at high tier. Yeah, it is Blair at high tier, but I mean, if I'm going to give it to anybody, the Dagger Master will do well from it. Because remember, once he gets Dagger Master, he can stab 3 times a turn. So there's a chance for it to proc 3 times. But I've already given him, at level 1, I've given him Colossus. At level 2, we'll take Quick Hands. At level 3, we'll take Shield Expert, most likely. Well, no, we'll take Backstabber, of course. Then it'll be Dagger Mastery, then it'll be Footwork, then Battle Forged, Underdog. And he doesn't need Fearsome because he's going to be doing so much base damage with his Roundel. Because he'll do damage at 20 base damage, so he'll always be rolling for morale breaking. And he procs on miss, correct? We'll think about it as we level up. But the Mace Master doesn't have any stars in melee skills, so he's going to have to take Fast Adaption. And Griff as well. They're not going to be great Mace Masters, I don't think, but let's just bear in mind that we're just getting started. And there's a long way to go yet. And if these guys die, it'll suck, but hey. I'm sure these guys will gladly offer themselves up to Davkul. We got the 2 shields we needed. But they did get badly hurt, which really sucks. So we'll just do a swap arena here. Whoopsie, that's what I wanted. Just until they have healed up, of course. Where's your headgear? You don't even have any headgear. You know what? I'm actually going to give you the 60 points of Fangshire. It's the best we can do right now for head armor. Griff isn't... Well, he is important, but he's less important than keeping Jungian alive. How many kills did he get there? He got 4 kills. Holy crap. An absolute monster. Yeah. So, resolve... 45 resolve is going to be quite important for everybody. Because we're going to be fighting a lot of Geists. So we know we're not going to take Student on our crossbowman. Crippling Strikes, I don't know if it's even necessary, because once he gets crossbow mastery, he's going to be inflicting a wound damn near every time. But why don't we just take Crippling Strikes just to make certain of it? Or again, Colossus, get him up to 75. Those of you who saw one of the last episodes of Season 6, Mark Antony, our absolute monster of a bowman, got one shot by headshot. And part of the reason is he didn't have a very high hit point pool. I mean, yes, I essentially got him killed because I left him out in the open. Yeah, I was gutted when Mark Antony died like that, but hey, it wasn't 100% my fault. couple of daggers. We need some head coverings there, that's for sure. Okay, we got a nice bit of money here sitting in trade goods. So, what else is going to be difficult about, or different about this campaign? Last campaign, we chose a faction and pretty much stuck to them, and then just bounced around the one faction's cities in a big circle. We're not going to be doing that this campaign because we're going to be searching for cultists all the time. Yeah. So let me finish my one thought first. I don't want to get into a loop of helping just one faction. Of course, it's nice because they get to like you better and it works out better in terms of the economics. But I just worry that if we do that here, we're not going to get enough cultists. Do I need any of this stuff here? Not particularly. Let's get to a big city and flog the copper ingots. Every time I come to one of these weaponsmiths, we must take a look, because as soon as we can see around L, we'll need to buy one. Also, if there is a temple... Wasn't there a temple at Schmelsheim? Yeah, there is. It's going to get treated there. Is this the awful map seed? No, this is a completely random map seed, which I'll add in the description of the YouTube video, if you want to try it. So, Wenderjar was making the point, 60 head armor versus a warbow. So, I had gotten lazy and just thought of Fangshire as a way of keeping track of who my best archer was. Whenever I see the Fangshire, I know that's my best archer. But again, forgetting it's only 60 hit points of armor. And in the later game, like, I think the best non-vision obstructing, non-legendary item you can get, we need allies 100%, is an enclosed male coif, which gives 90 head armor. Which, had Mark Antony been wearing, he probably would have survived. That malicious spear could be quite good for us. And we need a wonderful straw hat. And let's see who can be recruited. An apprentice and a mason. This is probably a good mission to do. It's gonna be... what's it gonna be? Probably Nachtseers. Let's do it. Yeah, we need the money. It'll be Nachtseers, or it'll be Wolves. 380 is not bad. Need to be paid more. We're always going to ask at least once. I accept. I mean, you might think, wait for the lads to get healed. Actually, I'm not going to cross this mountain because I see them loop around here. Here they are. 3-die wolves. I do not want to fight them on either uneven ground, or it looks like we don't have a choice, or in the forest. In fact, the forest would be preferable to the uneven ground. Okay, good. The problem with uneven ground is if you spawn in, they can run straight into height advantage against you, which is pretty terrifying. Robbie Zessa, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Gamelot. Good shot. It is a silly place. I hate these wolves, they're so quick. This is legit scary. 2, 3, ooh. 1, oh, Jesus! Damn. Okay, so we need to push this wolf away. Well, Griff may as well do it because he's got a cut arm sinew, so wouldn't have done much damage anyway. So if we slay this wolf and then help out here. Henrik, you're in huge trouble. I'm very worried about Henrik here. Oh, thank God this wolf actually chose to bite Olaf. Because if Henrik had to take 6 shots, he probably would have been dead. Jungen keeps doing the damn thing. Let's see, turn done, turn done. They're both turned done. Man, let's just finish off this wolf. Good lad, nice. I like to go all out attack against these wolves here, just because their morale is so low. I mean, if I had swords for everyone, I like to have swords against those wolves, because then on the first round, you just put shield up and you go into riposte. And then you have 3 chances for them to hit themselves. Battle is over. Yep. Okay, Malice, the Mace Master. See, it's these +1s that are going to really hurt us. He's not going to need Colossus because he's got 2 stars and hit points. He is going to need fast adaptation to just overcome his lack of stars. But anyway, this campaign we're going to be a lot more aggressive in terms of fishing for new characters, and we're not going to be shy about firing guys if we can do better than what we currently have, you know. Nice little bit of cash money saving up here. 564. I think we can make some profit off of that. Let's go to the big city. Nearest large city would be Grunfester. We'll stop in at Mullenheim, see if we can get some more work. So yeah, I'm interested to see the difference in how the crossbows perform compared to the bows generally. Mostly they won't be as good, but in certain circumstances they're going to be better. What you got for us? Day tailors. I'm always happy to hire day tailors. They can actually be pretty damn good sometimes, but we don't really have the money. We need to go sell these gems. Actually, what kind of a job do you have for us? The Crystal Skull. It's talk pay. 250. I need more. Except this should be just fight some thugs. Track down southwest. Yeah, easy. Relatively easy. So, yep, 7 thugs. Let's just make sure we give the... Yeah, got Fangshire backed. We do have some injured brothers, so we've got to be a touch careful. Nice little height advantage start. I'm going to wait and let everyone move up 1 square so that Jungen can have a height advantage to start with. Loving these weapons. I want to get my hands on all these weapons. Might have to leave a gap in the line here. You know what, I'll have to stay right there. I don't see this guy, because if he avoids the spear, he can only go 1, 2, 3, and 4, but then he'll get stabbed pretty damn quick. So I'll have you fine over there. Looks like they're stacking the southern part of the formation anyway. The spears are the main concern, because they're the most accurate. Okay, not the person I was shooting at, but what the hell, I'll take it. I forgot to move Jungen, I can move him on the next turn. Griff, stay where you are. Henrik, spear wall. Malice, spear wall. Hold. Hold. Yeah, they're just going to wait. Oh, damn. Henrik will wait actually, because this guy will come into your range and you can stab him. He doesn't have a shield. I actually want to just wait, because then I can get 2 stabs off on these guys. In fact, let's do that. I don't really think I should bother with the spear wall, just because they can just keep waiting and we'll exhaust ourselves just by waiting for them to come to us. And And this guy should go down quick. He's surrounded by 3 guys. That hurts though. Yeah, Henrik is surrounded by 4. Shit. Oh, come on, Malice. Good hit. Headshot. Oh. Should I go for whatever kills I can just to break the morale like that? Ooh, they're so close to death. Damn, he's gonna get his attack off. Oh. It's not looking good, boys. Oh. So remember how I was talking about not overestimating my power this early on? It's exactly what I've done. Fight like hell, lads. Yes! Morale, thank God for that. Oh, I needed you to hit that. Good hit, Baden. Ooh! This lad is the problem. I'm just going to give him the old run at, hope we can hurt him. Break his morale. If he headshots here, it'll be a kill. Let's see. Acts in 1 turn, turn done. Woo! Yeah, I should have been more defensive there. That was needlessly aggressive. Although needlessly aggressive kind of fits with the way that I would expect the cultists to fight. Down you go, sunshine. Yeah, we're getting the missions done, but we're taking too many wounds, and of course, the cost of treating these wounds is cutting into our profits. Blood is the best armor. Armored by our faith. Olaf, he's a B-team raider who doesn't have any stars, so we can make him a sword raider. If we get lucky with his rolls as he levels up. Okay, if he gets +2s, that's awesome. Yes, a +3, we'll take that. His resolve is absolutely terrible. He needs Colossus. The thing is, for a raider with a 2-handed weapon, fast adaptation is not really worth it because he's only going to be attacking once a turn. He'll only be attacking twice a turn if he gets Berserk, and if he gets Berserk, he's hit someone, so fast adaptation doesn't proc anyway. Not worth it at all. Henrik has got a star there. Sweet. So we're not going to have to spend points leveling up his hit points at any point. I'm saying point a lot. Griff, the Mace Master, doesn't have stars, so he will be swinging a 1-handed weapon, so he will benefit from fast adaptation. It's 2 +3 fatigue. I am going to have to invest some level up points there though, but I think we can get away with not taking Colossus because with 2 stars he'll be rolling +4s and whatnot. So within just a few level ups, he'll have the points he needs there. Do a couple more daggers here. 2 more daggers at least. Rightio, let's get paid. Crown's well deserved. Also, this campaign, we're going to be looking to fight bandits that have bandit leaders whenever we can, because that was one of the big takeaways from the last campaign was almost all the armor we had we took off of bandit leaders' corpses. We didn't buy it. It's too expensive to buy most of the time. Nice bit of profit there. Are we ever going to use these woodcutters' axes? You know, potentially. So, Let's see. Oh, nice and cheap farmhands, but I don't think it's the right time to buy, guys. We don't have good armor to put on them. We don't have pitchforks. I want to sink some money into decent armor for these 3 frontline guys because they're quite important. Although actually no, hang on. I need 8. 8 men tends to be the number at which I'm happiest. For me to feel that I can take on fights like the one we just took with relative ease. I mean, 2 extra guys with pitchforks would have made a huge difference there. So let's take on these farmhands. I love me a good farmhand. Oh, 3 stars in Iron Lung. Are you kidding me? What a monster this guy's going to be. And he's got double stars in fatigue. On the downside, he doesn't have melee defense. Guys, this is the dream. This is the dream. We have ourselves someone who can use an orc mace. An orc 2-handed mace chain. He's going to be a flail raider. Oh, the dream is real. The dream is real. It sucks he doesn't have any points in melee defense, so it's going to be tough to keep him alive. But he'll definitely be someone who sits on the side of the formation and just swings his flail in a big circle. Now we just got to keep him alive for him to get trained up and get good enough. Let's take a look at the other guy. He's got determined. More awesome luck. 2 stars in range defense. Okay, so this is a Huskal. His determined is essentially plus 10% on melee skill and melee defense. He's got range defense. So he'll be using a 2-handed, he'll be using a long axe for shield breaking. He will occasionally find himself on the front line when he swaps out someone who's in trouble on the front line. But that shouldn't be all that often. Okay, so for Eric, we are going to look to give him a 2-handed axe as soon as we can. Iron Man? No, actually, yeah, thanks for. I should have taken Iron Man. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot to tick the Iron Man. I'm gonna just remember to save after each episode. Because if the game crashes, we got problems. Weaponsmith, give me a roundel. Yeah, baby. Beautiful. It takes us a bit low in terms of funds. But it does mean that, here we go, where is he? Olaf, the sword raider. Where's our dagger master? Pardon. When we get him back on the front line, and we might as well get him back on the front line now. A B team sword raider, you can go on the back line. But I've done this totally wrong. There you go. Wait, pardon? Yeah, you need to be on the front line with that. Oh, I can't wait to see this roundel go to work. So, you roll for morale trigger with fearsome if you only do 1 point of damage. Normally it's 15 points of hit points damage. So every time you land a puncture, you're rolling to break morale. And whether it causes an injury or not is done on a percentage of the target's hit points. There's a whole bunch of maths involved, but basically Patton's going to be inflicting a lot of wounds. So much so that it's potentially even worth giving the guys who stand next to him Executioner. But it's going to be the 2 sword raiders, and they're not going to need the extra damage. Well, I mean, they'll benefit from it, but not so much that it's worth putting a perk point into it. So Patton... just use your roundel, really. I mean, give him a spear, but that's just 3 less fatigue. God, I can't wait to see this Roundel go to work. It's going to be fantastic. Right, we need a thing. Are there any shields? Oh, look at these weapons. I want... No, what I need is a pitchfork. Oh, there's obviously not going to be one here, is there? Eventually, war brands, long axes, great swords, great axes. Can't wait. Well, we're a long way off from that. But we'll get there eventually. Okay, so we've got the 8 men we need to get busy in terms of doing jobs. And from now on, we're just going to check every single city and obviously hire every cultist we can. Ooh, that's some Nachtzehrs. That should be some decently good XP. But you know what? The guys are a bit hurt and we're not getting paid to kill them, so... We need to get to friendly relations with one of our cities. Let's go back to Eisengrab, see if we can't get a job there. But it's been 46 minutes, so we'll call that our first episode. Season 7. Off to a good start.